Only because you ain't here.
Hey, welcome back to my channel. If it's your first time joining, welcome. I'm Maya Marie and I drop hair tutorials every week. As you can see, these are the tools and products that I use for my braid down. So I'm doing a closure sew-in, and if you are a beginner and you struggle with doing cornrows, this video is definitely for you because we're going to keep it nice and simple. The first thing I do is I line my comb up with the middle of my nose and I drag it straight back through my head. And I do this so that the line is straight because I'm doing a middle part sewing. And if you want a side part sewing tutorial, drop it in the comment, girl. I got you. So once you have got your part all the way to the back of your head, what I like to do is I like to put some gel on that part specifically and then go back with my comb and clean up the part, because again, you want this as crisp, as clean as possible, because you will see how good or how bad you did in your end result when you're done with your sewing. No pressure. Next, I make a horizontal part right behind my ear. I'm only doing this on the right side of my head. Just start with one side of your head because you're going to braid the right side, then you're going to braid the left side, then you're going to braid the middle. Go ahead and clip that back part because we're going to focus on the front right side of our head first. Yay, now you're ready to braid. So I take a skinny section that goes from my ear up towards the middle of my head. And these braids are going to be small and going to be flat. Remind yourself the whole way around because you're going to get tired. You're going to want them to be big and chunky, girl. No. If you got curly bundles, and you can get away with the back of your head not really being too small, but we want that closure to be flat and seamless. If you're doing a closure behind the hairline, make sure to take a little chunk of your hair out in the front and your baby hairs and slick the rest. That's what I'm doing. You'll see later on. If you're not, do what I'm doing and slick all of your hair back. Now let's talk about the cornrow technique because I know a lot of beginners struggle here. I definitely was one of them. First, ask yourself, am I braiding over or under? If you are at the front of your head, you're probably braiding over, but it's whatever floats your boat, whatever's comfortable to you. Look at where my fingers are placed. That's where you want to start there. Thumb and pointer, then your middle finger above that, and then your other hand holds the last piece. So you're basically feeding 3 strands of your hair over each other in a pattern. You start with 3 equal sections. You cross the right section over the middle, then the left section over the new middle. Each time you go over, you pick up a little bit of your hair from the scalp. So I'm taking my pinky, combing it through to get that little piece, and then I'm adding it to the 3rd piece. The piece that's closest to it, basically. So this is what makes it a cornrow. You're feeding in small pieces as you go. So the tighter, the more consistent you keep it, the flatter your braid will lay. Don't stress if it's not perfect, baby. This is going underneath the bundles. This do not need to look good at all. What's important is that they're flat and they're small. If you have thicker hair, you might need to make your cornrows smaller than me because I have more fine hair. It's all about practice and keeping your hands moving. And remember, it's okay to take breaks. It's okay to start over. Cornrowing is not easy.
Situations. Come on, y'all. We look right. Hey, yeah. But you gotta be smart about it. Son of what? Yeah, with the guys. I sacrificed because I knew you could not sleep without it. Meanwhile,
Your first braid will stop when you get to your ear, because your braid number 2 is going to start right behind that first braid, and it's going to go down the right side of your head or left side, whichever side you're on, doesn't matter. Then I'm going to, of course, pin it up. I take out the chunk of hair that I pinned up towards the beginning of the video because this next braid is going to go around the entire right side of my head. So it's going to start at the front and it's going to loop, curve around the back of your head. So this is really important to do when you do your sewing. You'll probably see professionals doing this too because it releases tension from the back of your head. Same technique as the first cornrow. Take a little section from the front, part it into 3 pieces. I start right behind the first braid and go down the right side of my head. Same thing. Feed in small pieces as you go and keep it consistent. I'm trying to be more clear in this part on where to place your fingers, so hopefully this is helpful. Also, this is where beginners usually get tripped up. This is where I got tripped up when I first started because my arms get tired, I lose track of my sections. And so the tip for this is if you feel your braid getting loose, pause, reset your hands, and keep going. Do not try to rush it. You don't want loose braids because it's going to be big, it's going to be chunky, then you're not going to be happy with your closure. I show the process of me braiding my hair a few more times, but if you really want like a clear view of where my fingers are going, then rewind back to the first braid that I did right before this. So at the end of this braid out, you only want to have one braid sticking out. So what I mean by that is you're going to tuck each previous braid into the next braid as you're braiding down. That's a lot of braid. I demonstrated visually if you're a visual person. If you are a verbal person, auditory person, as I'm braiding down, I'm taking the last braid that's dangling and I'm adding it to the piece, one of the 3 pieces in my 3-strand braid. I usually put the previous braid in between my pointer and thumb finger as I'm braiding down. And once you're done with this braid, you're going to proceed by going to the front of your head where we started. Where you see that white clip, the front right side of my head, that's the section that I'm braiding. I'm not braiding where the black clip is. I'm not braiding to get to the back of my head. I'm only braiding that front section. Hopefully this close-up is a good example of how I move my fingers. Off topic, but ignore the dandruff. Please ignore it. I wash my hair with clarifying shampoo with tea tree drops like 2 or 3 times. My hair is just like this, okay? Please, lay off. So for me, this is the left side of my head, and I'm just doing the same exact procedure I did on the right side of my head. I'm going to take that part from the middle, dead center, all the way down to behind my right ear. Cornrow, same thing, good to go. Now we're to the back final part of the head. This is where that black clip was. This part is easier because it's just straight back braids. The right and left side of our head, we might have had to curve the braids. This is just straight back. And again, if you have curly hair, curly bundles, don't have to worry about them being too tiny. If you have straight hair, body waves, make sure that these are tiny and flat. As I braid each one, I keep tucking in the previous braid so everything flows together. And so by the time you're done, you'll see how it creates a nice flat base for your closure sewing.
I need to get the fuck on my space. Replacements on the way, please don't beg. Pussy spin like a great escape. I need no trick, or that don't change.
If you're following this exact technique, you might notice that there's multiple braids hanging out. There's not just one that you can grab and pull into the existing braid that you're braiding down. So it's okay if you need to put 2 braids into that one that you're braiding down. It's fine. As long as it's in the back center of your head, as far low as possible.
Got me out to choosing violence. If you see me out in public, you don't know me, keep it silent. In the bedroom, mommy screaming, but outside I keep it quiet. Even though I don't ski, I'm the lowest of the lowest.
The next and final braid you see that's curly in the white clip, I'm going to end up bringing in the braid on the left and the braid on the bottom that's hanging out. I'm bringing them into this last braid. And that's what I was saying earlier. It's okay to add in 2 braids to the existing one that you're doing, especially because I'm in the back of my head.
Don't work my nerves, you know I can more. Yeah, we fucking, we ain't making love no more. You took that talk, but you know.
The final step, you're going to take that last braid and tuck it into your other braids, wherever you find the gap. tuck it in 2 or 3 times. You can add a bobby pin if you want it to stay, or you can sew it down. 2 other options: if you can't find a gap, or if you feel like this is not sturdy enough, you can get a crochet needle. If you're not able to get in there in the gap, you can get a crochet needle and you can pull your hair through so you can tuck it, or you can simply just sew down the braid. But that's not beginner friendly, is it? Ignore the dandruff. Alright, this is the final look. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful. Please comment below any other tutorials you want to see.